What's going on, y'all? Can y'all believe it? We are literally almost at the start of September. The little guys here are getting ready to go back to school, and we are getting ready to set up for the new month. I usually set up the next month during the second to last week of the current month. So we're in August right now. So I started to set up around the 20th, that week of August, to start working on September. If you didn't see the setup of this planner, I'm going to leave a link to this video in the description, but I set up my bullet journal to include a grid spacing chart, which you'll see that I refer to often, so that it's easier for me to set up my spreads. In case you were interested to know what my grid spacing is for my calendar spread in a B6, my calendars start on Monday, and you'll see on the left-hand side, there are 3 days. So my Monday through Wednesday boxes are 7x6. And then on the right-hand side, my Thursday through Friday boxes are 6x7. And then I've made my weekend Saturday and Sunday a little bit smaller, and they are 5.5x6 boxes. So I have the 3 days on the left and the 4 days on the right. In my planning system, what I use my monthly calendar spreads for is to include high-level items on my calendars. That would include meetings, that would be doctor's appointments, that would be if I take time off or family has vacation. Those types of things are what I keep on my monthly spreads. I like to see those things at a higher level so that I know in advance what I have coming up. My monthly setups for the new months, when I sit down to do them, I actually do the setup of all of the planners that I will be using in that upcoming month. So for me, it's this B6 Stalogy, which is my main planner, which is a bullet journal. I also set up my Hobonichi Weeks, which I love because of the size, and I like to archive things in that. I also set up my personal rings planner. I use that at work. Sometimes I would prefer just to be at work and only focus on work. So I actually set up all of those planners at the same time. That also includes my social media content planner, which is a disc-bound system. My weekly spreads, I've decided to have the week on one page. So you'll see that my weekly is in horizontal form. And then directly next to that, I like to keep a running to-do list. So anything that comes up that I realize that I may have coming up, I can just drop them in my running to-dos, because sometimes when I have tasks coming up, I don't always necessarily know what days they need to be on. I just know that they need to be done. So having a running to-do list has been very helpful to be able to keep all those things in one place until I know when and where they need to go. The grid spacing for my weekly spread, which again, my weeks start on a Monday. I prefer a Monday start. The grid space for my boxes Monday through Friday are 12 by 5. And then my Saturdays and Sundays, which I make smaller like I do on my monthly calendar, the grid space for that is 12 by 3.5. I've gotten a lot of comments over the past few videos about my future log and using the future log with an adaptation of the Alastair Method. So you get to see a quick peek of how that actually works in my workflow. You'll see that I put the dot under the corresponding month of the event, and then I have the date next to it. But what makes this system so great for me is that when I come to the month to set up for my month, it allows me to quickly reference what needs to go where. Since my main planner this season is the B6 Stalogy, you'll see that as I set up my next planner, which is the Hobonichi Weeks, that I reference that main planner. That is my hub that goes out to all planners. You'll see that I am using the exact same color coding system that I used in all the rest of the planners so far. That just helps me with consistency. That allows me to see at a glance what information belongs where or what it pertains to.
How much you mean to me? I can get my head around how we used to be. You said you love me, and I gave my heart. You cannot care less, you were tearing me apart. Oh, I'm running away from escaping dreams of yesterday. Without falling apart. So give me something now. Oh, oh. Give me a fix, tell me if it's whatever that's wrong. So give me something now. Oh, oh. Give me a fix, tell me if it's whatever that's wrong. Yeah. So give me something, give me something.
Now we're coming down to the final stretch of the setup of my Hobonichi Weeks for the new month. So we're on my weekly spread. You will see that I'm about to trace the lines that are given for the weekly layout. I don't really like those lines. They're very faint to me, and I like definition. So you will see me trace all of the lines because it is easier for me to see, and I like the way that that looks better. So if you guys have not noticed by now, I love a straight line. So what you see me using to make my straight lines is creativity and motion, y'all, because I usually keep some type of mini ruler within my planner, but they are clear, and for whatever reason I could not find any of them. So I took a piece of cardstock and some random extra pieces of vinyl that I had to create this DIY ruler. It worked for what I needed it for, y'all. Let's talk about these stickers real quick, y'all. So something about me, if you do not know, I am a huge Friends fan. And I saw these stickers from a shop called the Coffee Monsters Co. And they are mini emoji friend stickers. I love them. I love them. I bought multiple sheets of these stickers that I am now trying to piece out slowly because I love them so much. But Friends fan here, y'all. On the blank page in the Hobonichi Weeks, that's on the opposite of the weekly, I like to use that space for two things. This first section that I set up is my running to-do list, much like the running to-do list that I have set up in my B6 Stalogy. But in the Hobonichi Weeks, because it is a slimmer planner, how I am doing my running to-do list is, again, another adaptation of the Alastair Method, the Alastair system, which I'm using for my future log as well. Except the only difference is you'll see the first letter of the day of the week, and then I notate what that task is. And when I complete that task, I put a dot where the day was and then connect them. So that has been helpful for me as well, especially in small spaces. The other section that I include on this side is what I am calling my social highlights. So it is a list of my posting schedule. You see that I am still with the color coding. I have a posting schedule for all of my social medias. So my blue and purple indicators are for Instagram and Facebook. And then that pink is my YouTube schedule. So I just sometimes when I'm using this planner, I just like to see a quick glance of, hey girl, this is what you have coming up in social. All right, y'all. The last one I'm going to set up with you guys is my personal rings planner, which I'm using for work. A lot of times I use the personal rings because I work in a corporate office setting, and I find that the ring system itself is a little cleaner looking than me taking my bullet journal with me into meetings and those things. So I use the personal rings. Another thing that I tested out was creating fold out inserts for my personal rings. I also did a fold out design for my A5 disc bound. But the reason that I decided to create these is because I wanted to be able to have space to put extra information that I may need. But because the size of the personal ring tends to be a little smaller for my taste, I'm not always able to get everything that I need. So creating these fold-out inserts were super helpful, and I really like them.
Now I say your name without the pain behind it. I'm moved on now. I'm not trying to impress you anymore. Spending all this time trying to get you out my mind. Oh, it feels so.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for rocking with me. If you haven't already, make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you share this with your friends so that we can keep building this community, y'all. Until next time, peace.
That was simply delusion, followed up with confusion. That was just substitution for a lonely bed. So that's simple.